This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
Well, I'm thrilled to be back in this incredible Commonwealth.
You pull back one layer and you see 4 more layers.
Please do the right thing for us, for our family, for our children. We love our mom and we'll never stop looking for her.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
King on the Keystone State. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Mark Webster. President Trump speaking this afternoon at a Mack truck plant outside of Allentown, Pennsylvania, where he got a rousing welcome from workers.
Thrilled to be back in this incredible Commonwealth with the proud, hard-working patriots of Lehigh Valley.
While he took political potshots at Governor Josh Shapiro and other Democrats, Trump's remarks were mostly focused on jobs and manufacturing.
Eli Lilly just announced billions of dollars worth of plans. We have more plants being built right now in the United States than at any time in the history of our country.
The huge McCungy plant's been awarded a $47 million contract to make heavy-duty dump trucks for the military. Speaking of which, on the war with Iran, Trump fired back at Iranian officials who are denying the president's claims that Iran has agreed to allow nuclear inspectors into the country.
They're wrong. They're wrong. They know they're wrong. They told us inside, and we have it down, 100% inspections. And if they were right, I'd cancel the meetings right now.
Elsewhere this day, a second Missouri man charged in connection to an alleged attack on the White House and a World Cup match in Kansas City. Federal court documents reveal that Jordan Rinker, along with Daniel Eskridge and several other co-conspirators, have been charged with conspiracy to commit murder in an alleged attack targeting President Donald Trump's UFC cage fighting show at the White House on June 14th. FBI Deputy Director Chris Rea tells Fox,
We made a bunch of probable cause arrests before the event. We ensured the event was safe. We were watching a whole bunch of others to ensure that nobody had come to D.C., but we're continuing to make those cases. And so that's why you're seeing folks get kind of picked off onesie, twosie. You pull back one layer and you see 4 more layers.
He says more than a dozen FBI offices are continuing to work together on that set of potential threats. A World Cup match is set for July 3rd in Kansas City at Arrowhead Stadium. The U.S. Supreme Court today ruling against a Rastafarian who sought damages after Louisiana prison officials cut his dreadlocks off, despite his claim that it violated his religious rights. The court ruled 6-3 that Damon Lander cannot seek damages under a law called the Religious Land Use and Institutionalized Persons Act.
In this particular context, as in many other contexts, there is no dispute as to the right at issue. And there is no dispute that the right at issue to not have his head shaved in this way was violated. But it is all about the remedy, not whether his rights were violated. And in this case, the court essentially says, yes, he has a right, but no, he doesn't have a remedy if the remedy is monetary damages.
That's ABC legal contributor James Sample. The court was divided along ideological lines with conservatives in the majority, liberals dissenting. The House may soon vote on a housing bill that would bar investors from scooping up single-family homes.
The bill also cuts red tape to make it easier to build new homes, and it provides grants to turn vacant buildings into affordable housing.
That's ABC's Elizabeth Schulze. Savannah Guthrie making another emotional plea for information about her mother's disappearance. Speaking today on NBC's Today Show, she said someone out there has to know something.
Please do the right thing for us, for our family, for our children. And we love our mom and we'll never stop looking for her, ever.
Her comments come after reports yesterday that one of 2 notes sent to a Tucson, Arizona television station earlier this year claimed Nancy Guthrie died shortly after she was abducted from her home on February 1st and that she was buried nearby. An earlier note reportedly demanded ransom and claimed the 84-year-old was safe. Investigators deemed both notes to be potentially credible as that Arizona mystery drags on. And community and faith leaders are proposing a new Department of Gun Violence Reduction for the city of Chicago. The group gathered at City Hall yesterday following 30-plus shootings over the weekend. Supporters of the planned department are hoping for $100 million to fund that office, which would include a commissioner and a community advisory board. Still to come here on the 5 o'clock report, we'll have a recap for you of our top regional stories, as well as highlights from today's Mission Pulse feature. Coming up after Weather with Kevin.
Here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. The call for this afternoon, a mixture of clouds and sunshine with high temperatures into the 70s, so milder than it was yesterday. The stars are out tonight, the low mostly 50s. Tomorrow, ample sunshine, high in the 70s to near 80. Thursday, mostly cloudy with showers arriving. There could be a couple thunderstorms as well. High temperatures Thursday, mid-70s to the lower 80s.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Now checking the stories making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. A Broome County, New York man charged with 6 counts of manslaughter in connection with a fatal fire in Endwell. 24-year-old Tyler Russell is facing felony charges in connection to that deadly blaze at the Knights Inn in Endwell early Monday morning. The motel was being used to house migrants, parolees, low-income individuals, and victims of domestic violence. Endwell Police Chief Matthew Grafton.
In something of this nature, a very challenging fire, as far as the magnitude and loss of life, everyone steps up, steps in, and supports one another.
Police say the 6 fire victims died of smoke inhalation. The United Way of Broome County has created a GoFundMe page to assist 70 others impacted by that deadly arson attack. Well, it is primary day in the state of New York. Registered party voters nominating candidates in local, state, and federal elections for the November midterms. Joanne Shawhan with the League of Women Voters tells Spectrum News.
So you can only vote in the primary of the party you were registered to vote in. Democrats can only vote in the Democratic primary. Republicans can only vote in the Republican primary. Don't have a party or you're an independent voter, you cannot vote in a primary.
Polls in New York State open until 9 p.m. A Pennsylvania bill would ban some students from taking home school-issued devices in order to cut down on screen time in classrooms. Family Life's Sarah Harnish with the details.
The legislation proposed by State Senator Lisa Boscola would limit screen time for kindergarten, first, and second grade students in Pennsylvania and would restrict kids from taking home school-issued devices and prevent schools from relying on them as a substitute for early foundational learning. The bill was penned after a study showed statewide English language arts scores dropped below 50% for the first time in a decade. Sarah Harnish, Family Life News.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Western New York's most expensive structure is now officially open for business.
In the end zone by Johnson.
2, 1, cut that ribbon!
And cut that ribbon they did to open the new home of the Buffalo Bills, Highmark Stadium, right across the street from where the old stadium is being torn down. Buffalo Bills owner Terry Pagula.
So behind me is a wall with, right now, 5,369 names of you hardworking Americans who got this stadium built. It's one thing to talk about it. It's one thing to get the money. It's another thing to get it done. So thank you.
The new open-air stadium is the largest construction project in the history of Western New York. The stadium will have a capacity of 60,108. That's about 11,500 less than the final capacity at the original Highmark Stadium. It will also have a natural grass playing surface. That's a change from the old stadium, which had turf. And staying with sports, might the Olympic Games one day return to the state of New York? Governor Kathy Hochul says an exploratory committee has been formed to look into possibly pursuing a joint bid between Lake Placid and New York City to host a future Olympic and Paralympic Winter Games. State officials say the success of the recent Winter Games in Italy, which was hosted at venues about 250 miles apart, shows that a joint bid with the Big Apple and Lake Placid, some 300 miles apart, could work. Lake Placid has hosted the Winter Olympics twice, 1932 and 1980, the later famed for the Miracle on Ice victory of the U.S. men's hockey team over the then Soviet Union. Up next, highlights from today's Mission Pulse feature. 3 in 4 Americans battle chronic diseases. A ministry in Corning, New York works just not on physical healing, but spiritual and emotional too. It's called Beloved Healer Wellness. Pastor Jay Lascolia and his wife Sherry are the focus for today's Mission Pulse feature.
How prevalent is poor health? And when I say poor health, I mean mental health, our physical bodies, and our relationships with the people that we love.
Yeah, so they say that 3 out of 4 Americans are currently living with at least one chronic health condition, which tells us we're living in a world that's hurting, not only physically, but mentally, relationally, and spiritually.
If somebody comes to your office for a session, can you walk me through what that looks like? Because this isn't just talk therapy.
Yeah, Sarah, from the spiritual and soul side, so we're made up spirit, soul, and body, and our soul is our mind, will, and emotions, and it's really inner healing that we do with people, especially from wounds and traumas and hurts from the past that get into the soul, helping them heal mainly by seeing Jesus there in the wound and then leading them through forgiveness, healing of the soul. Your soul is your mind, will, and emotions. And throughout our lives, we get wounded in our soul. There can be trauma. There can be other wounds and hurts. So I like to say we're conduits for the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit helps a person, leading them through healing by first seeing Jesus in the wound, helping them forgive, and then there's the spiritual freedom component, or helping them get delivered from bondage, where the evil one tries to keep them believing lies that are just contrary to what God says about us as his kids.
Comfort, ease, and speed kill the body. Tell me biblically why it's so important to take care of you.
Sarah, you're so right. If you don't make time for your body, it will talk back to you in one way, shape, or form, and it's usually not good. Simple and consistent routines with the right tools and supplements, practicing Sabbath rest is just essential. I've been learning this myself, and helps keep us in the rhythm that God has designed for us to be as we walk in alignment with him.
Jay, have you seen people truly healed? You know, you've been in counseling ministry for a long time. Have you seen the ship turn around? Can you share a story where what you do has made a difference for someone?
Yeah, one young man that came to me, and he was in such deep bondage, depression. He was an addict. He was into drugs and alcohol, and he was a believer at one time in ministry and really wanted to be free. And we, through the leading of the Holy Spirit, again, it's not Jay, it's Jesus Christ that heals. He got free, and he is totally free, and he found some physical healing as well. He was free from addiction, and he's married now and expecting his first child. So to be on the sidelines and kind of cheer people on as Jesus does what only Jesus can do as the healer.
That's Pastor Jay Lescolia and registered nurse Sherry Lescolia of Beloved Healer Wellness. You can hear the entire feature online anytime at Apple Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, or at FamilyLife.org. This is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Could what feels secure today disappear tomorrow? Hi, I'm Rob West with another Faith and Finance Minute. In Lamentations 4, Jeremiah describes the collapse of Jerusalem with haunting words. How the gold has grown dim, how the pure gold is changed. Those once clothed in luxury and raised on fine food were left searching through ashes to survive. The message is clear. Riches are far more fragile than they appear. We can be tempted to anchor our peace in savings, investments, homes, or the lifestyle they provide, but anything built on temporary wealth can be shaken. That doesn't mean planning is wrong. It means our hope must rest deeper than our assets. When our trust is rooted in God, we're free to steward wealth wisely, hold possessions loosely, and face uncertain times with steady hearts. Get biblical answers to your financial questions in the Faith Fi community. Download Faith Fi, Faith and Finance in your app store or visit faithfi.com.
Thank you very much, Rob. Finally, at 5 in 2022, at age 14, it looked bleak for Kansas City's Dylan Wanicki, diagnosed with stage 4 kidney cancer, just given months to live. But then entered Dr. Mary Austin, who tells CBS over the course of Dylan's year-long chemotherapy journey, it became more than just a clinical doctor-patient relationship.
We made arrangements to grab a lunch together, and he's met my kids, and it just evolved naturally as a friendship.
She's like my partner in crime. I call her my second mom.
And Dylan's first mom and dad were more than okay with that.
She used to check on him just like a mom would.
Every step of the way, she just hyped him up. Like, I promise you, if you keep going through with this so you can live, I will come to your graduation.
Just that trick of saying, hey, I'll make it for your graduation, just changed everything. He just decided he has the will to keep fighting.
And to win that fight, now 18, cancer-free, and a graduating senior.
She has not made one promise that she hasn't kept.
And we'll forever be grateful for that.
So proud.
Dr. Austin even flew 1,500 miles from her new position in Seattle to make Dylan's graduation. And that's the world we live in for Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026. Thank you again for joining us. I'm Mark Webster, Family Life News.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.